strategy.
Welcome in, everyone. It's good to see your faces. Hi, Angie and Linda, Kathy, Paula, Terry. We're going to get started here in just a minute with trimming and joining. All right, here we go. Another fun day. Sarah, I'm going to unmute you. There you go.
I hit the button right as you did, so I muted myself back.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We're here. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. We're excited to be back again today. So basically, just to give a recap, we like to do that, right? Just to catch everybody up. My name's Aubrey. Hello, hello.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are real sisters. And we're not the Hoop Sisters, but we're sisters. And basically, Tuesday night, we hosted a virtual quilt hop. It was so much fun. I think I'm still recovering. That was a late night for me.
It is. It's late. It makes for a long day, but they are always very fun.
It's always fun. Once we get started, it's cool to see all the comments and people and all the things. So we did that Tuesday night and basically let you know at that point that we've opened up mystery quilt for pre-order, right, Sarah? So that's exciting.
Yes, mystery quilt for pre-order and had
then
lots of fun specials that a lot of you took advantage of.
yes,
Yesterday we were back again, weren't we?
we were. And you had an exciting announcement. And what else did you do yesterday?
So yesterday I stitched out the bonus block and we released the fabric and thread key to you guys. And speaking of the fabric and thread key, I do want to tell you on the live, I did make a minor adjustment to that. So on the very last page, which is the fabric and thread key that I have that's blank for you guys to put your fabric on. So it just looks like this. I just had mislabeled some of them, the fabrics on there. So if you see that and you want the updated labels on there just with the fabric numbers, I should say, you can just re-download that in your account right now.
Perfect. How's everybody? Can everyone hear us? I see Susan said that she's having a problem just trying to figure out if it's on her end or our end. So if you guys let us know in the comments one way or another, if you can hear us, you'll let us know you can hear us. That'd be great. We're just going to keep rolling until I see some other comments about it. But so, yeah. So, and then I don't know if you said this because that comment distracted me. Okay. Thank you so much, Linda. Yesterday you also stitched out the bonus.
Yes. We stitched out the bonus block, which is what I have right here today. And I could show you what the the whole bonus, right? Mm-hmm. So it's this, it's fun. It's got some really pretty quilting in there in the background and then some pretty applique. So this is a fun one. We stitched out one of these blocks in a different colorway yesterday. So this is what that block came out like. And then today we are going to be trimming and showing you kind of joining for these blocks.
Yes. So I'm excited about today because today, I think of all the days, this tends to be the thing that people are most intimidated about. So most people feel like, yeah, I could probably make one of those blocks, but then what do I do with it? So if there's ever something holding people back, this tends to be it. So today's very exciting because Sarah's going to show us just a couple things that are going to make your life a lot easier, which I think is fantastic. Thank you so much, you all, for telling us in the comments you can hear us. It just must be an isolated thing for someone. So without further ado, I think we should just dive in. I don't know if you want to switch your camera. And
I do. Okay, that's what I was going to say.
All right. So I'm just going to pop this up here. And again, if you've been watching for the past few days, then this is going to be a little bit of a recap while Sarah just transfers her camera so that you guys have the best angle possible for today's demo. But basically, the pre-order is going on now, all leading up to May 31st, when we will release the first set of weekly files and go live at 2 p.m. Eastern time that day, which is the same time we're going live now, if that helps anybody with time zones. And Sarah will teach on a block from the week 1 release on May 31st at 2. And then we'll just kind of go down the line, and each Wednesday following that, we'll have another set of files released to you all to download. And another live class. And of course, those replays will stay available. So she looks set up. So I'm going to flip over to her camera and we're going to get started today with a quick trimming and joining lesson that I think will help all of you. Let us know in the comments too, before I switch over to Sarah, let us know in the comments if you have ever used our trimmer by George. Let us know that in the comments. All right, Sarah, it's all you.
Alrighty. So again, this was the block from the bonus that we stitched out yesterday. And now what we need to do is just remove this battleizer, which if you didn't catch it yesterday, this is our batting and stabilizer combination. But we need to remove it up to the basting stitch so that we can get that bulk out of our seams. So we do that with what Aubrey was just talking about, our Trimmer by George tool. We love this tool. It's just an acrylic ruler, and then it has that crimped metal edge. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So what you do to remove the battleizer up to the basting stitch is you will take that crimped metal edge, and I'm going to stand it upright. I'll shimmy it underneath my fabric on the top of my block, right up to my basting stitch, and then lay that flat. And then if you just give a nice gentle tug to your battleizer, you'll get this nice and close to that basting stitch. And then you'll use a 60mm rotary cutter just to trim away that battleizer. And you want to use a 60mm rotary cutter because if you use a 40, it's probably not going to be quite tall enough to get up over the edge of that metal strip. So I'll show you guys on the other side. Okay, just shimmy that up underneath the fabric on the top of your block and then lay it flat. A little gentle tug on your battleizer and then a 60mm rotary cutter, and you can trim that away. I'm going to do these last two sides. I love this tool. It makes doing this so much easier than if you don't have it. You could easily trim into your block. Okay. Now I've got all of that removed up to that basting stitch. Now what we need to do is just flip our block so that the right side is up, and then I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch from the basting stitch through the fabric on the top of my block. Okay, so I've just got 2 more sides to trim.
Sarah, you were muted for a second. I'm not sure.
Yes, I
Okay.
did that. Sorry.
That's okay.
Had to get someone's attention, and I didn't think you guys wanted to hear me do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here is our finished block that we've got trimmed up nicely, and we removed that bulk from where our seam will be, so it's right up to that basting stitch. And now we have to join these together, right? That's the next step. So I've got 2 blocks here that I've trimmed, and now I have to join those. So let me show you guys how to pin this. And I love this pinning technique because I think it makes it pretty simple and you get really good results. And like with most things, with practice, you get even better results. So now we'll take our blocks, put them right sides together, and I'm going to find our match points. I guess I should talk to you guys about match points first. So match points on this particular block would be where my satin stitch is, where our corners are, and then where some of my quilting is. So I'm going to pin in a few of those places. And I always start with the corners. So I will take my pin and go straight through my block. And then I'm going to go straight through the corresponding corner in the other block. And then I'm going to come down here to where some of my quilting is. Some of those decorative stitches, and go straight through both blocks right at that basting stitch on my match points. And then last, in this last corner. And I think especially for, this is a 5-inch block, 3 pins is pretty good. That will get us matched up to where we need to be. If you are stitching like an 8, a 9, a 10-inch block, I would probably use a few more pins if you have the match points to do so. So now that we have all of our pins straight through our blocks, I'm going to take our last pins and go through that seam allowance and then down into the block. And then I can remove my anchor pin. So I'm going through my fabric and then down into the block, and then I can remove my anchor pin. And then one more time. It doesn't like it right there. Let's see. Okay, and then remove that anchor pin. So now we've got our pins right here. And now I just take it over to my machine and I'll stitch right along that basting stitch. And that will give me blocks that look a little bit like this, right? So I've got it joined nicely. My corners match up quite nice, as does my satin stitch right here. So we did pretty darn good. And then yesterday somebody also said, how do you, or it might have been Tuesday actually, said, how do you get that sashing on there? So we'll show you a little bit about the sashing. So when you've got your blocks joined, you'll obviously have that raw edge that you have to cover up. So this is where your sashing comes in. I have my sashing that I cut to size, and I always cut my sashing using our trimmer by George because it has, I'll show it to you up when I get my other camera up, but it has these nice guides on it for how wide to cut your sashing, so you always remember. But I cut this 1.5 inches wide, and then I just pressed it so that the raw edges meet in the middle. So wrong sides together so the raw edges meet in the middle. And now I'm going to apply it to that seam. So you always want the center of your sashing fabric, this center where those raw edges meet, to be right over your seam. Let me see how well I can show this to you guys. So I've got this lined up right over where that seam is. And then I have a red thread here. I'm not thinking that I don't think the lighting is picking up on that, but when I move my camera, it will. I just used an elongated serpentine stitch to attach my sashing. And then I would do the same on the other side. Now, I used a red thread so that we could hopefully see it a little bit better. When you guys are doing this, and when I do it with my samples, I use a monofilament thread so that it's clear and it blends right in. And this is on, I would say, almost all of our quilts, and you really can't see it once you step back. You really have to step up to the quilt and look at it very closely. So hopefully this all helps. Aubrey, I'm going to switch my camera back around, and then I'll show them, and hopefully they can see that red serpentine stitch a little better.
Yes. Okay. You go ahead and do that. All right. So then we talked about the live days and all that good stuff. Tomorrow we're going to talk a lot more about fabric, but the fabric and thread key is available. And that is, if you pre-ordered, that's going to be just right in where you normally would get your files. But there's also a free download of this on the website. So if you haven't pre-ordered, but you want to take a look at the fabric and thread key, you can do that as well. The other thing that we wanted to recap before we come back, and by the way, was that helpful or what? Like, I feel like knowing how to trim out the bulk and knowing how to pin like that will save you guys so much time and energy. It's pretty awesome. So great demo, Sarah. Good job.
Thank you.
So with this, you're going to get the fabric and thread key. You also get the downloadable weekly files. So you're going to get like a set of files each week for 5 weeks. You're also going to get live instructions with recordings. So you can access those even if you can't catch it live. We also have an awesome VIP Facebook group and Mystery Quilt. That group started with Mystery Quilt years ago, and we just had so much fun in there that we kept it going. You'll be able to get in there too. So for the downloadable files, it's $94, and that includes, again, the live instruction too. If you do want a jump drive, you can pick the option. It's a little drop down on that downloadable product to add a USB for $107.99. And we do ship the USB later. I know that's a commonly asked question. So you're going to work off the downloadable files so it stays a mystery, right? We don't want you guys to know exactly. And then here's that bonus. And I can always go back into our other view, Sarah, if you want to hold that up again. But the bonus, the bonus is basically our gift to you if you pre-order. So sometimes people say, well, what's the benefit of pre-ordering? The benefit of pre-ordering is you get this awesome bonus that Sarah's been stitching out and using as our trimming example. You get it free with a mystery quilt purchase if you use coupon code MQFB23. Okay. So you would just add both your mystery quilt option and the bonus to your cart, and then use that coupon code at checkout. And there's our sneak peek. Remember this? Everybody always wants a sneak peek. So there's that. All right, I'm going to pop back in here, see if there's any questions that we can answer. What else?
I wanted to show them this again up here. Yes, you can see it up here. So here's that red serpentine stitch. This is where I was saying you would want to use a monofilament clear thread because it will blend right in. And you would just do that serpentine stitch up and down both sides of your sashing. And you are going to start and end at the basting stitch for blocks that are going to be in the center of your quilt and do not have the binding attached to it. So I wanted to show that, and then I can hold this up again.
It's so pretty. And we said yesterday too, and I'm going to say it again, if you love the bonus, there's a pretty high chance you're like going to love the mystery quilt too, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. And I was just thinking, I think the bonus is a nice way to test out fabric colors. If you're thinking, I kind of want to use these colors, but I'm not sure how they'll look, just stitch out a few of the 5-inch blocks from the bonus. And if those colors look good together on the bonus, then they're probably going to look good in your mystery quilt, right?
Yeah, that's actually a really good tip. I have a question over here I'd love for Sarah to answer. Can you see the question?
Yes. Do you wait until the entire quilt is together to do the sashing on the back? So for a quilt about the size of the mystery quilt, I prefer to join it maybe in quarters is what I would do. I think that would be easiest is to join it in quarters. I certainly would not do what I did. I only did this for demo's sake, right? So I wouldn't join 2 blocks together and then sash those seams. That would just, it's going to take you longer. You're probably going to have more waste on your sashing fabric. So I'd recommend quarters, or if you are new to this method to apply sashing and you want to work with something smaller, you could divide it into smaller sections. Maybe like a 4 patch block like this you could do. But definitely don't do what I just did. Definitely at least get maybe 4 blocks together up to about a quarter of the mystery quilt. And you will get a layout file in the first week. So you'll kind of be able to see where stuff is laid out, as well as we'll have the mystery quilt behind us, but you only will see the blocks for that week. So you'll be able to see that layout, and then you can kind of decide how you want to go from there.
And then there's a comment from Maggie. Hi, Maggie. She said that it's the trimmer. She's talking about the trimmer saves you lots of tears and cussing. So I love that. That's so funny.
Yes.
It's true. It's true.
I did our Trimmer by George demo today with an HVAC man watching. That's why I had to mute myself. I had to yell for someone to help him. He was very, very kind and just waited. So he knows how to use our Trimmer by George.
That's hilarious. Okay. All right. And then Miss Colleen, she's got all the throwback original trimmers. So you've been around with us for a long time, because Goose Tracks was a long time ago. I want to say that was like 2010, 2011. So that's awesome. I'm so happy that you're still hanging around with us and you got all the trimmers. It doesn't look like you have a 3.0 yet, but you know what? Here's the thing too. The functionality is just the same. So, you know, we have a sturdier metal edge in the trimmer now. And by the way, did you show the sashing and binding mark?
No, thank you. I was going to show that up here because the lighting is just better here. If I can, nope, wrong way.
There it is.
I think it's backwards for you guys, but you can see where it says the thicker dashed lines are your binding and sashing guides, and in person you can see it much better than you just could on camera.
Right. Okay. So please show the binder cutting with trimmer with George. I'm not sure.
Does she mean the guide?
I'm not sure. Maybe ask that a different way because I'm not getting it, Sandra. Okay. Yes, going to experiment today. I'm assuming you mean with your fabrics and that and the bonus block. In fact, I've seen fabric being posted already in our VIP group, and we just released the fabric and thread key. So, and I've also seen, I think it was Deb who's been hanging out with us for a little while, posted her bonus.
Yes,
So,
I saw that. Very cute.
not only play, but post what you're doing so people can get a good idea. And if they like something, they can maybe try to recreate it with their fabrics too. So
I saw somebody ask how you go over sashing. So I'm assuming you're meaning if I had another row of blocks, I keep going the wrong way. If I had another row of the blocks on the top, how do I go over this point where all those blocks meet? So you would simply just apply it using the same method. You won't have this exact point to make sure that the center of your sashing is right over your seam, but just check on either side of it as you're going, and you can, make your machine go a little bit and then slow it down and stop. But you just put it right over it using the very same method. And if you want to practice sashing, another good thing to use in the bonus is to practice sashing on it. I believe the instructions, I write to just use a one-piece back since it's just 4 blocks. But if you want to add your backing in the hoop, all you have to do is go back to that first step at the very, very end, put a water-soluble thread in your needle, and you can use that placement stitch to tack down backing fabric. And then you can trim it just like I demonstrated today. And you can practice your sashing on your bonus that way. So there's another fun tip.
And Miss
someone else wants to give a tip.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to just jump in here. I wanted to give a tip too on that last question. So when you have this and you're about to join another row or another group of blocks here,
I know where she's going with
this. You can actually
here. Let's just trim
it.
Gosh,
let's do it. Okay, see if we can do it. We're gonna trim it even with where the battleizer has been cut, and that way
trim.
That's okay. But as you can see, it was trimmed right where the battleizer stops, and then this is your seam allowance. That way, it won't be in the seam allowance when you sew that together. Then I don't know. I'm not explaining it well.
No. That's
I just ruined Sarah's entire life.
That's perfect because you don't have that bulk in that seam then when you're joining it. Because you're going to be covering this with sashing anyway.
Right. And then that sashing will still go over all that, but you won't have that bulk in the seam. Okay, I'm going to go back.
This is why I'm making Annie join us for Mystery Quilt, because it's great to have 2 people to kind of play off one another when you're teaching these things, because sometimes you forget to share all the best tips.
She's going to kill me later.
No, I don't mind. Okay, how should we cut binding with trimmer? Okay, Sandra, so if you want to cut your binding with your trimmer, you would so there's 2 directions in which you can lay your trimmer, right? So if I am removing battleizer up to the basting stitch, I am going to have, hopefully you guys can see this, I'm going to lay my trimmer like this on top of my block, right? So that my crimped metal edge is down and all my fabric will be on this side of my crimped metal edge. Now, if I want to cut binding, I'm going to flip it over and just use it just like an acrylic ruler. So it's going to lay flat on your fabric, and then you'll be able to see, you're going to be able to see, oh goodness, that's hard to show. You'll be able to see that binding guide on there, and you'll just cut it that wide. And I will demo this for you on the last date. It just escaped me. I think it's June 28th. It's the very last week of our mystery quilt, but I will demo this for you and show you how to do that. I'm struggling with words on how to lay this on your fabric right now. Well, you can't tell.
I think too, if we would have shown it, well, the camera angle was different and laying down, it probably would have been easier. Yes. But Sandra, does that help? I hope that helps and is clear. And then I also have another question from Chris for you, Sarah.
Yes. Does it matter which way So I can't read it on my phone. So does it matter which way you stash first, left to right, top to bottom? No, I don't think it matters. Normally, if I'm starting with top to bottom, I keep going top to bottom until all of them are done, and then I would go left to right. And I start at the same side each time.
Thank you. Okay, we got a question from Miss Deb. I think, Deb, I think you're the one that posted your bonus already too.
Cotton candy is not a line of fabric. It is just a name that I gave it because I kind of thought it looked like cotton candy. I believe off the top of my head that those are Michael Miller fabrics. But I think with any line of fabric that your local quilt shop carries, I think that they probably have similar colors to that.
Okay, and then thank you, Sandra. Sandra said yes, so that was clear and that was helpful. I know you did I know you did touch on this already, Sarah, but maybe just re-explain this part.
So do I do the binding in sections or when it is all finished using longer
Oh,
pieces?
the binding. Sorry, I read
I would
sashing.
wait until you are completely done and have all your blocks in your quilt together and then do the binding. We do have, I know on our YouTube channel, I did a binding and sleeve tutorial. So you can find that on our YouTube channel. And I believe also in our how-to section on our website, we have a how to add a binding video. But you'll want to make sure your entire quilt blocks are joined together and then add your binding.
And Miss Wenda says the 3 metal piece is better. Yes, she's referring to our Trimmer by George 3.0, and I agree. It is so much better. And the other cool thing about that is I'm very proud of that it's made in the US still. You know, it was a tool that was originally designed by the husband of someone who was frustrated because they kept cutting into their block, and like any good tool, it was born out of frustration and that helped make something so much easier. And it's had some upgrades along the way. And I agree, the 3.0 is awesome. Okay. I don't see any other questions right now, but if you have them, let me know. Our keyword for today was trimmer. So if you haven't yet already and you have given StreamYard permission, type the keyword trimmer, and then we're going to, Joni agrees too, 3.0 is better, 3.0 all the way. And like I was saying earlier though, if you have the 2.0 and you still love it, it's the same functionality. So
Lydia also said that she loves that the 3.0 has that free case the case design that you can download for free to store it in. I think Annie stole hers, so I don't have one to show off, but that is a cool case.
It is a cool case. And I feel like we give out so many freebies. The trimmer case is one of them. So that if you're intimidated by this process at all, there's usually something free you can grab to give it a try, which I think is great. Okay, I see a bunch of trimmer comments. So I think
Annie's coming back.
Oh, she's back.
She can't stay away.
Oh, she probably has the case. Yeah.
She does. This is pretty cool. So if you have a trimmer, the trimmer 3.0, make sure you check out this case on our website. It is free and it is awesome.
Sarah, what is Wonder Tape?
What is Wonder Tape?
Very often.
So I don't use Wonder Tape. So you can use Wonder Tape to apply your sashing if you'd like. Wonder Tape, Annie will tell me if it's water soluble or not. I'm not sure on the answer to that. But Wonder Tape you could use to temporarily place your sashing fabric onto the back of your seam if you want. It will hold it there a little bit, enough that you can get your serpentine stitch down on either side. So if you are starting out, you can certainly use Wonder Tape. It will help you with placement a little bit more, and it will make sure it's staying where it needs to go. I don't use it anymore just because I just kind of stitch a little, adjust my sashing if I need to, stitch a little further, adjust if you need to. So yeah, check it out if you want to use it, and it'll help you out with holding that there temporarily.
Okay, I see two more questions. I'm going to pop up here. Can you read that?
What kind of thread do you use for the quilting embroidery? 40 weight machine embroidery thread or 50 weight? That is a good question, Jennifer, and I bet Annie will come out here and join us and tell us the answer to it. She should just come and hang out with us, because honestly, I am not sure off the top of my head. So Do we use 40 weight machine embroidery thread or 50 weight quilting thread? I think 40. Okay, 40 weight. 40 weight polyester embroidery thread.
All right. There you go, Jennifer. Miss Chris wants to know, do you iron down the seam open before sashing?
Yes, definitely. Iron before sashing, press in one direction. This is going to be hard to see because I've got my sashing on there, but press it in one direction. If you are using wool batting, make sure that you use a strip stick. And if you don't have a strip stick, that's okay. Just go in your kitchen and grab your rolling pin. Because if you press your block flat with wool, it'll just smash it down.
Be like, what's the point of using the wool?
Yes, and I've done that before with entire projects. So, okay. Is there a hint for those 4 corners when pressing? I'm assuming you mean when I have another, row of blocks up at the top. I don't really have a hint. We just press our seams in one direction. You could press your seams open if you feel like that will spread out some of that bulk a little more. But when you use that Trimmer by George tool, it really is removing so much of that bulk that you're pretty much you only have your fabric in there. So
Okay.
No, Wenda, we do not. I don't press our seams open. You can do that if you want to, if you feel like it distributes any bulk a little bit more, but I think it is fine to press it in one direction.
Okay. So I am going to pop this up here real quick. So if you guys have more questions, keep them coming, but this is kind of where we're at in the schedule. And I cannot believe that tomorrow's already Friday. I don't know where the month is going. But tomorrow we are going to have Fabric Friday. I'm so excited for this. This is the day I've been waiting for all week. We're going to have Linda Remmers, who is our Hoop Sisters co-founder, also owns 2 local quilt shops. We are going to join her virtually at one of her quilt shops, and she's picking out some different colorways. She has seen the mystery quilt, and she has picked some fabric color combinations that she feels would look good. She's also typically the person who picks out fabric for all of our samples. So she's good at picking fabric, and she's going to join us tomorrow at this same time to go over fabric. Sarah, I think you're also going to be talking more in detail tomorrow.
Yes, I will join you guys, and I am going to talk a little bit more about the fabric and thread key, because oftentimes the question that we get with the fabric and thread key, especially if you are new to Hoop Sisters, is why is there a first cut column and then a cross cut column, and what does that mean? So I'll grab some fabric and I'll kind of show you how you utilize those 2 columns if you are someone who likes to prepare all of your fabric ahead of time.
Jacqueline, go ahead and shoot Nina an email or give us a call. It's nina@hoopsisters.com. She will help you find your slice-o melon, or she'll just give it to you. So we'll figure it out, but just get a hold of us and she'll help take care of you. Okay. All right. So we've reached the end of today. I'm going to do a giveaway real quick for $10 in store credit. And then we'll be back here tomorrow for Fabric Friday. So I'm so excited for that. All right. I am going to share my screen and we're going to pick a winner for today. All right, here we go. Trimmer. Oh, cool. Hi, Denise LaRue. You are our winner for today. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, Miss Denise, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to email nina@hoopsisters.com. Let her know that you won $10 in store credit, and she will pop that in your account. And we will do that again tomorrow. So join us for Fabric Friday. And we also just want to invite you right now to pre-order that mystery quilt. So we're so excited. We want the most of you participating as possible. It just makes it so much fun when we do the live classes and kind of see everybody's fabrics and all that good stuff. now is the time to get it, because if you pre-order before May 31st, you're going to get the bonus that Sarah's been stitching out and using in the trimmer demo. So we just invite you to participate. So just pop over to the website. It's hoopsisters.com. You will want to add the mystery quilt plus the bonus, and there's that coupon code again so that you can make sure that you get that bonus for free for pre-ordering, okay? Okie dokie. Well, that's all we got for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow at the same time for Fabric Friday. And that's it.
See you guys tomorrow.